When 7-year-old Joe Larson was severely cut by window glass, his 10-year-old brother Ian was the only other person at home.
Fire and medical emergency.
My brother's bleeding really bad. He got the window.
Okay, what address is he at?
10th Street.
Okay, we're going to send an ambulance, but don't hang up the phone, okay?
I won't.
How old is your brother?
He's 7.5.
Okay, and what happened?
He knocked the window open.
Okay, and he's bleeding?
Yeah, really bad.
Where? Where from?
His shoulder, sort of, his arm.
Is anybody else there with you?
No.
And how old are you?
10.5.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a towel or a cloth, and we're going to get your brother to calm down a little bit, and you're going to take that and put it on his shoulder where he's bleeding.
Okay.
And hold it there, okay?
Okay, really tight?
Yep. Is the blood squirting out, or is it just bleeding pretty good?
It's squirting out.
Okay.
Or I think it stopped a little.
Good. Well, why don't you get him and get the towel and come back to the phone, okay?
Okay.
St. Paul Fire Dispatcher Patrick Twist was handling the call.
In my experience, a child will describe any bleeding as a lot of bleeding. I could hear the victim crying in the background, so I wasn't expecting it to be a real serious cut.
Seven and a half.
He's moaning a little and he's not getting up.
Okay, listen. You're doing everything fine, all right? You just got to calm yourself down a little bit because you're going to be able to help him better. What's his name, Joe?
Yeah.
All right, did you get the towel?
Yeah, he's got it.
Okay, how's the bleeding? Does it still seem to be bleeding a lot?
Not totally.
Okay, is he holding it up there?
No, he can't. I don't know.
I thought that he might have been dead, but I was trying not to think that he was. Trying really hard not to. His chest was moving up and down. That's just about the only thing that I could tell. He was still alive.
He's got a hole in his arm.
Okay, well, that they're going to be able to help you. Did he lose a lot of blood?
Yeah, a whole bunch.
The crying had stopped. It sounded pretty ominous that he possibly was losing consciousness.
And when did you call? As soon as it happened?
Yeah, as soon as it happened, I
Good.
rushed into the...
Great.
Rushed in.
Now, is there anybody else there with you or not?
No.
All right.
I'm scared.
Oh, don't be afraid. You did the right
He's got a
thing.
big hole in his arm.
Okay, I'll tell you what, as bad as it looks, I'll bet that they've dealt with a lot of worse stuff.
I hear him. Okay.
Within 4 minutes, a St. Paul Fire Rescue Unit arrived, including paramedic captain Mike Gollner.
Show me where he's at.
Right here. He's right around here.
It basically looked like a slaughterhouse. He had blood out so quick, he didn't even have a chance to turn blue.
Squeeze it off. We got an arrest. Let's go to the rig.
We need to move quick. To get a blood pressure back in this child, we needed to breathe for him in a hurry, or we were going to have a dead kid.
Come on.
Paramedic Tom Ryan was keeping pressure on the wound.
You guys ready for him? Yep.
If the glass that cut his arm hadn't hit the bone and stopped, it would have severed his arm. We elevated his legs so that what little bit of fluid he had left in his body would go up into his heart area.
I could just see him all poking needles into his arm and poking needles everywhere in him. Just scared me. Didn't seem like he could even feel it.
Got a sinus rhythm rate of 60. Still no pulse in this arm. The right arm has no pulse.
What he needed to do is get blood and get blood in a hurry. We had a 3 to 4 minute ride to the hospital. It looked like the child may not make it.
Rate's still 60, Mike. Rate's still 60.
We got about 800 cc's in him right now. We got to try to get a little more fluid in him here.
Joe's mother, Michelle Larson, rushed home from work as soon as she was notified.
They just said to me, your son has been cut. We need to take him to a hospital. Where would you like us to take him? So I still didn't know how serious it was.
Ian!
Judging by the amount of blood and the size of my son, all I could think of was, I hope they made it.
There doesn't appear to be any other wounds other than the arm. From the time that I gripped his arm all the way to the time we got to the hospital, I never let go.
What are we doing up there with the breathing, Ron?
Bagging him.
Rates at 70.
He's starting to take some agonal breaths. He's trying to fight the airway a little.
Pull the airway. Pull the airway. Good.
His eyes flickered and opened.
I think we got him.
Coming around, Mike.
Hey, buddy.
I could not believe that this little kid went from the condition he was in to actually opening his eyes.
Good. Good.
It was almost like a miracle.
He's got a huge lash on a brachial.
Watch the IV, watch the IV.
At Children's Hospital of St. Paul, 7-year-old Joe Larson was put under the care of emergency physician Kathy Wusso.
This boy probably lost about 40% or a little more of his blood volume. So we were worried that he could have kidney failure. He could lose his arm. The bleeding has stopped, and Dr. Donahue, the hand surgeon, is on his way in, and he'll be going up to the operating room in just a few minutes.
Joe, it's Mom. Can you hear me, honey? He was absolutely the color of the sheet he was laying on. Probably the first thing out of his mouth was, I can't feel my arm. And then he looked at me and said, well, Mom, we got your good towels dirty. That's my son, Joe.
Joe underwent surgery to repair the severed artery and nerves in his right arm.
And I'll be right outside if you need me.
Joe, can you hear me?
If he would have died, I think my life really would have been changed. My life would have been a lot sad.
You're a tough guy, you know?
Yeah.
It's been a year since Joe was injured.
I couldn't feel anything in my right arm, and it felt kind of funny on my left one because I had an RV in it. Now my arm's a lot better because I can play basketball and stuff, and hockey, my two favorite sports.
Children will rehabilitate themselves just through play.
Hockey stick through it.
He has some trouble with fine motor function in the fingers, but he's adapted very well, given the circumstances.
Maybe we should have ordered a pizza, huh?
Yeah, it would have been good. Pepperoni and extra stinky stuff.
I didn't realize how serious this was until the next day. I can't listen to that tape. Not many of them get me like that, but that one, because I see the hole in his arm, and I see the massive blood loss that I didn't really appreciate at the time of the incident.
I think I'd be a wealthy woman if I had a quarter every time I told my kids, quit bouncing on the beds. They learned a very valuable lesson. Since Joe's accident, I have replaced the windows with a type of safety glass.
We don't jump around on the beds anymore. Sometimes a little brother does, but we stop him.
You just let go in.
The most awful thing kept occurring to me afterwards. I was at work and had my son called work instead of picking up the phone and dialing 911. I don't believe Joe would be here today. He didn't have an extra minute.
We're a little closer now that this has happened. I stick up for him a little more. My brother's a butt wipe, but now I like him because he saved my life. If he wouldn't have known what to do, then I would have been dead right now. I would have had a grave that said, R.I.P., rest in peace. And that's not good.
Bacon, 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 bacon.
He's alive because Mike Gullner was the captain that day, because it's a straight shot down Front Street, because Children's Hospital is Children's Hospital. I certainly believe in God, too, and he was smiling on him that day. But he was smiling on him because his brother picked up the phone and he called us.
Next,
It was an extreme load on my shoulders at that point because I could see in Lori's eyes that she was counting on Lisa and I. And I didn't know whether I'd be able to do what I needed to do to help my friend.